Good morning, I'm Thomas. This is my YouTube channel, and what year am I? I'm an astrophysics student at the University of St Andrews. I've just finished my third year. I'm starting my fourth year in September, and I'm doing a summer project. Specifically, I'm doing a summer project in the field of supernovae, the explosions that come from massive stars. This is the second week, and I've got a fair bit of work to do today. If you haven't seen the last video, then it'll be up in the top right-hand corner. I believe that's that corner. If I'm wrong, I'll flip the video. And that was going through the first week of this project, a lot of reading, starting to run some of the sort of test simulations, and I'll be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing yet, but I still don't really know what I'm doing. Today I'm going to be running a few other test simulations, as well as some other work I've got to do for various other things I'm involved in. This thing's going to involve a Twitch stream today, and really this video is just going to take us through the next bit of the project, probably the sort of highlights from this week. Hopefully you can't hear the road noise. It's kind of early, but the road gets loud. Yeah. I'm going to get breakfast because I haven't eaten yet, and then I'm going to try and work out how I'm splitting up audio for my Twitch stream this afternoon, because the Scotland game is on, and I didn't realise that it was clashing with when I'd intended to stream. So it's going to be on in the background. I don't want people to hear it. Then I'm going to try and run a supernova simulation. And hopefully I can get it to work, because the last 3 times I've tried to run it, it hasn't worked properly. I may be sending some emails. Okay, so it is now, what time is it? It's now 10 o'clock, and I've been working for an hour, sort of. I've managed to work out how to split up my audio for the stream later. This is actually really easy in Linux. It get a lot harder in Windows. But yeah, you can just do it with something called Pulse Audio. It was really easy. You create a virtual output and shove the stuff through it. Currently, I am running a simulation. I'm running the supernova simulation again. This time, sort of just hoping the damn thing works. I'm running it on the default settings, which means it is slow, but hopefully it will work. So at the minute, I'm just kind of, well, I'm just staring at stuff appearing in the terminal. I don't know if this is actually going to be in focus. Probably, no, it's very much not in focus. Come on. There we go. Yeah. So I'm just staring at things. Right now I'm just staring at things scrolling by in the terminal. It's about 10% of the way done. It's only taken about, I don't know, maybe 4 minutes to do. Which, you know, it's not ideal. But that's fine. So the plan is hopefully that this will run and I'll get something usable out of it. If it doesn't, then I start emailing the postdoc in the group. I think I'm already going to be emailing him to ask what exactly certain things mean, because I don't get them. The code that's been written for this is far more advanced than anything I've ever written, so yeah, this is going to be fun when I have to write on my own. Anyway, I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea. Hopefully this is somewhat interesting. Hopefully I'll have some pretty plots for you by the next time I do one of these updates. Okay, so it's the end of Monday, the 14th of June, and yeah, so it's been a frustrating day. I've actually managed to get literally nothing done. My simulation doesn't work. On the bright side, I spoke with the postdoc in our group, so postdoctoral researcher. So he's finished his PhD, he's now doing some sort of typically like 3 to 5 year like fixed term positions. But basically a full-time researcher in the group. Somebody who's very familiar with this code. And he can't get it to run either. So we think there's been something gone wrong with an update to the code since he ran it before, and that's why it's not working. So he's getting in contact with the people who created it, the code that we're running, to see if they still have the initial the original setup files, to find out if we can get it working, and then I might be able to reproduce the plots. But it was very nice to get that email at about 5 o'clock saying, it's not your fault, I can't get it to run either, you haven't done anything blindingly wrong. So on the bright side, that's good. On the downside, I've spent, you know, an entire work day and got absolutely nowhere. However, I did finish at about 5 o'clock, and now it isn't 5 o'clock. Now it is about 20 to 7. And the reason that I have taken this long to do an update is because I've also been doing the other part of my job. Well, that's my other job. It's not the other part of my job, it is my other job, which is being the school president-elect for physics and astronomy. So this is a student representative role, and this is the weekly training session for the month we're doing these right through June. It was on careers and employability, which is something that I've spent a lot of the last year working on because I was the school's careers rep for the last year. And it's all about organising different careers events and planning for the year. So I've got a load of stuff I want to do, mostly around skills, but also giving a sort of wide range of careers options because, well, you can do a lot with a physics degree, but they keep sort of telling you about finance and banking and tech because like those are the companies that come and talk to us. So it's about reaching out to those other companies that want physics grads but don't, reach out to us. I want to try and get another SciComm event. I did one this semester with Dr. Simon Clark, who you may know from YouTube and Twitch and the like. It'd be really cool to get him back, like actually in person rather than just online. But we probably won't get to that until semester 2 at the earliest next year. But then again, who knows? We might suddenly have a miraculous vanishing of COVID. Am I kidding? What else has happened today that I can update you on before I go? Oh yeah, Scotland lost 2-0 to the Czech Republic. That was really depressing. Like the first time I watched football, like a national game, we've qualified for the European Championships, and then we get utterly thrashed by the Czech Republic, who we haven't lost to in the last 7 years, I may add. It's a bit irritating, but oh well. We still got the games against England and Croatia. Those teams that totally didn't get to the semi-final and 4th place of the last World Cup while Scotland didn't qualify. We're totally going to make it out of the group stage. Totally. I am not concerned in the slightest. Good morning. It is, what day is it? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, the second day of the week, second week of this project, and welcome back to my life. I guess you haven't really left the video. Hopefully you haven't left the video. Today's a bit of a weird one. I don't really know what I'm doing because we've hit this brick wall with the Supernova simulation, the thermal energy one. Currently the postdoc in the group is trying to find out why it's broken. We don't actually know why. So I'm sort of waiting on him to email me back. So I've emailed my supervisor and said, hi, we've hit this issue. What should I do today? And well, I'm still waiting on him to come back to me as well. I'm doing a stream from 10 till 1. So I can't have a call with him then. So I've said I'm free this afternoon to call, or if he calls before 10 o'clock. So I guess in the meantime, I'm just gonna be working on other things. I might read some tangentially related papers or something. Then again, I've got other work that I can do for school president and stuff, so I might do that instead. This is the sort of thing is, because we're sort of early in the project, I don't have a big thing to work on. I'm kind of stuck right now. I'm hoping that I will hear from my supervisor soon. So it is now lunchtime on Tuesday, and well, this is fun. So I heard back from my supervisor who has basically said, hey, so, okay, that doesn't work, fine. Now let's look at doing, we're starting work on like a proper simulation of a supernova. It's like, oh, just write an algorithm to find all the particles within 2 kernel radii. And I'm like, sorry, what now? Like, I don't know how to do that. So I've emailed the postdoc in the group and be like, hi, help? And he's like, I'm not really sure what you meant to do either. It's like he hasn't understood what I've tried to explain that I have to do. Probably because I don't fully understand it. So we're having a meeting in an hour or so. Just a quick call to be like, so this is what I've been told to do, and then hopefully I'll be able to make a bit more progress. I've been looking through some of the code and trying to dissect it myself today, so hopefully I understand some of the code a bit more. I at least understand what some of the options do. There's a couple that don't seem to have any bearing on anything else in the makefile, so I'm hoping they're somewhere else. I don't know. This is the problem with this code, is it's so complicated and advanced that I don't know how it works, is the bottom line. So I don't know really how to add to it. It's fine. I keep telling myself it's fine. I've got another almost 5 weeks of this project. I'll get something out of it, probably. This would be so much easier if I could just walk up to folk and be like, hi, help please? But I can't really do that. Hopefully it'll be fine, but you never know. Right now though, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna get my lunch. Okay, so it is now 10 to 4. And actually, I'm always in this room. I'm going to walk through to a different room and you can have a different echo in the video today. Wonderful times. So, right. I don't want to hold this camera. Give me 1 second. It's about 10 to 4 now, and I've just had an hour-long call with the postdoc in the group, and I finally have something to do. So what we're going to try and do is adapt with the simulation that didn't work to do something different that hopefully will. The problem we were having was it wasn't conserving, well, it wasn't doing thermal energy properly. That it was getting negative thermal energy because of weird time-stepping issues. So hopefully, by not using thermal energy, it'll be fine. We're going to use kinetic energy instead to look at how injecting kinetic energy into the system will do things. Now obviously in real life it would be about half and half, it'd be half thermal, half kinetic, roughly. At least that's what we want to do, but current problems can't sort that right now. So what I need to do is basically pick a random particle in the simulation that is going to go supernova, and then everything within a given radius of that particle, they're going to be given an amount of energy. We're going to do it roughly equally. But it's going to be an amount of energy will be kicked out by this supernova to these particles as kinetic energy, and they'll be fired off, and hopefully that will do something useful. Whether or not it works is another thing, but first I need to code it. However, I'm going to get myself something to drink, and then I'm going to go and code it. And then probably finish at like 5 o'clock. Yeah, 9 to 5, that's what we're going with. So that's the plan. Also, I've promised I'll send fewer emails because I've been emailing quite a lot at the minute. Mostly because it's like new issues come up and I can't proceed unless I get a little bit of help. But hopefully now that I'm doing I'm writing code myself, there's more troubleshooting that I will be able to do because I'll understand it a bit more. Good morning. So it's now Wednesday, and actually it's pretty far into the morning. I did have a little bit of a lie-in. I got up at like 10. But I've done a bit of work, not on the project so far. I've done work on other things, school president things, Celtic Society things. It's a society that I'm president of. Yes, I have many, many hats at this university. And now I'm going to be sitting down to do some work on the project. So we know how much energy we want to put in. We know, like, I can work out what directions to send particles in when that happens. It's just got to be radially outwards. So if you think about radially as being like if the center of something goes in all directions in straight lines away from it, but like at 90 degrees from the surface of a sphere. So that's fairly easy to do in terms of vectors. It should be fine. I've done something like that for translating stuff into code before. The big problem is the mass because of how these simulations work. They're not like, this thing weighs X amount. No, it's all done in code units, so I need to work out how to do that. That's going to be the hardest part, I think. But I need to get a cup of tea, so I'm going to get a cup of tea and then I'm going to get working on that. I've emailed my supervisor to say this is where I'm at, and asked if we can have a chat either late this afternoon or tomorrow morning to sort of go over where the project is going, because I've got 4.5 weeks left, give or take a couple hours. And to be honest, I don't actually know where I'm going with this. And 4.5 weeks is not a long time. So that's kind of where we're at. I need to know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it. And yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, so I've not done really updates today because it's been, it's been a pretty busy day actually for me. Sorry, I'm just logging into my laptop for some other stuff. But it's been, hopefully, rather productive. So, as I said, I was trying to inject some supernova energy as kinetic energy into a turbulent box. So, a box full of gas that's all moving about. And I think, hopefully, I've got it working. I don't know. I'm currently running the simulation now. It's actually the first time I've run it, so you're watching science happen live. I've had a few good chats with my supervisor today, though. Heard from him twice. I'm going to be largely on my own for the next week because he's not going to be here. He's away. I think he's on holiday. But to be honest, that's fine. I have some stuff to do. If this works, that's a big if, I will add. The hope is that I'll have this working and then I can start working on the where. So if we can make it actually do it, we then need to work out where we want it to happen. Because if we can work out where we want it to happen, then we're onto something. So supernovae don't just occur out of the vacuum of space. They don't just happen when there's nothing there. They happen from dying stars. And you need a dying star for it to happen from, which there's a few ways you can do this. One of the ways you can do it is to just assign a particle randomly and it just goes, but that's not the most realistic. Frankly, you could be picking a particle of space dust to go supernova, and that's not really sensible. The other way that people typically do it is to do it using density. So you pick the highest density position in your turbulent box in this case, and that's where it happens. So that's probably what we're going to do. Now, the reason you choose a high density place is because the high density places are where gravity has pulled a load of stuff together. And that makes sense, like gravity around stars, that, you know, makes sense as to why they'd have, those would be the positions that a supernova would happen. But if it works, that's the plan for the rest of this week and maybe the next week, is to work out how to get that density working. Also, to refine this, at the minute I've just shoved in a random number for a velocity change. It has no basis in physical reality. So that's probably actually what I'll be doing tomorrow, is working on making it slightly more realistic and also making it so I don't have to run 3 commands to make it work. However, we will see. At the minute, I'm sitting watching it tick up. How much has it still got to do? What file number are we on? This thing produces about 400 data files. And we're on file 223. No, 233. So, yeah, we're still a wee bit off that being done. And then I've got to make it process it. I'm just going to shove it through and make it a load of PNGs. And if it's a load of PNGs, there's a script that's part of the Splash visualizer thing that I'm using. And that will let us turn all the PNGs into a nice little clip. Which is better than sitting with the spacebar held down, waiting for something to happen. So, yeah, that's the plan. In other news, I only had to email the postdoc once today, which is good. I did speak to my supervisor twice, but